there's only two teams that matter left. It's Cincinnati and Philly. It's the debate of who's won. And I think that it's more of a preference thing. I know where I stand, but it's a preference thing.
That's a preference thing. Where do you stand? Who do you have two?
Money Pots.
Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the shows.
Two Cincy. Number one's Philly.
I like it.
I think Jamar is better than AJ in a total sense, but I think that what Devontae brings is so much more thorough than what T brings, while I still respect T.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go into next year with my number one and number two receivers is AJ Brown number one, Jamar Chase number two. And I'm giving AJ number one because of his ability to produce when the ball's in his hands and when he's on the field. And I think that his production score is so high that it's, you can't really look away from it. When he's on the field, they win football games and they put up points. When he's not, it is what it is. Jamar is special, and he's not quite in the Tyreek Hill category yet, but he's a bit of an anomaly considering at his height, weight, and speed, how he moves so well. And then T is a different breed than Smitty, whereas Smitty is a move Z slot ace who could also line up at the X. T is a primary X who could run flank or slot if you needed him to. There are instances in which T. Higgins and Devontae Smith are number one receivers on other football teams. And that's not just because they're really shitty. That's just because these two teams are that loaded at top two of receiver.
Yeah. I mean, looking at his numbers, right? You talk about somebody with volume, right? He's averaging like 150 targets per year. I think I do agree with you. I think it's hard to say that Chase is better than AJ just on the strength. I do think the quarterback plays a role here because you do have possibly a generation talent at quarterback in Joe Burrow. So when you have somebody with that type of arm throwing you the ball, it's hard to say, especially the way we play, right? It's just completely.
Well, we haven't, I'm not just going off last year's play. I mean, I'm going off, every team's like the history of how these teams operate with these players through coordinators and whatever regime they're in. The reason why I just would say going into this year, I have Jamar ahead of AJ. I predict AJ to finish ahead of Jamar at the end of the season. But yes, there's been a lot of heavy volume going his way. But kind of with the thing of like a CD conversation, he goes, what is CD doing with these targets? Where is he going? A lot of them are caught, 7-yard reception, 3 yards after the catch, it's a first down.
Right.
Chases seem to be much larger in the distance. Either he catches the ball short, runs long, or he catches the ball long and is able to create something after it, just extend the play. Taking a 25-yard catch and turning it into a 30-yard catch is much like you can't weight it as heavily as taking a 7-yard reception on third down and turning it into a first down. But I think that the way Chase moves with the ball in his hands is just a little bit smoother than a guy like AJ or even a guy like CD. I just think Chase runs more like a running back with the ball in his hands, which allows the team to set up plays where there's a drag that he might turn into 60 where AJ or CD might turn it into 40. I just think he has that.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around. I think Chase runs like like you said, a really smooth receiver, and AJ runs like a running back. He's bulling people
I'm
over.
talking about with the ball in their hands. AJ looks like a bull holding a ball like it's a glass, like it's a piece of glass, and that's fine. Like you can hold it all tight like you want to, but I'm talking about fluidity within movement. And Jamar has more natural fluidity, but it's not like CD where you look. CD's almost too smooth for school, whereas Jamar, the movements are precise. every move, like I said, is not. There's no stiffness to his game. It's all fluidity. Like, I mean, dude, AJ's got bad knees at my age. Like, he's in no way, shape, or form smooth. He's a very stiff dude, but he's able to work with it in a sense that really we haven't seen from guys his height, weight, speed.
I'm about to say he's a completely different body type too. You know what I mean?
Not very far off him and Jamar are. You'd be surprised. Look at their height weights, and then go look at a picture of them with their shirts off. AJ looks like he's on steroids. Jamar looks like he just smokes weed and eats bodegas.
I mean, but for that position, 10 pounds is a lot, you know, in terms of difference.
Not anymore.
We say it's not, but
it used to be. It used to be.
Devontae
Smith weighs 175
different.
pounds.
It definitely looks different. I'll tell you that.
It looks different, but the game has changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because a lot of those big body X's nowadays. I mean, look at who just got paid today, Garrett Wilson. He is much more of the Devontae Smith build than he is the AJ Brown or Jamar Chase build. Like I said, man, I mean, these guys, the game is changing. But if I had to pick one today, this is starting a franchise. I don't know who you are. I'm just going off profile and tape that I've watched. Yep. I would take Jamar over AJ today. I also believe Jamar is like 3 years younger. But after that, I think at the end of this season, I think AJ supplants himself as that true number one.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the number one here. At Brown and Smith, your Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles receiver duo. I still don't think we've seen the potential.
Looking at a side, let me just talk to Marcus real quick. Looking at a side by side of AJ and Metcalf doesn't do anything. Metcalf has 3 inches on him. Like, that does nothing for me. You're talking about a guy who's 6'4" versus a guy who's 6'1". You're telling me more that Metcalf is an absolute freak of nature than AJ Brown. AJ Brown's just 6 foot big dude, bro. Don't get me wrong, bro is yoked up. He is massive. He gets down in the gym. But him and DK, all they had together was they went to the same school and they could both lift weights heavy.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley just had his camp out in Harrisburg.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And my boy took his son up there, and they had the VIP thing, and he said some of the players were out there in Bishop McDevitt. And he met AJ, and my boy Tim is a ex offensive lineman, and he's a legit 6'6". So, you know, as all our old football players do, when you meet some of these guys that are in the league, you just have to size them up. It's like, like y'all really this big in the league? Y'all look as big as y'all look on TV. And he said, AJ, the TV don't do him justice. AJ looks bigger in person than he does on TV. And I think that same, you kind of mentioned his name, that was the same about TL. TL was bigger in person than he was.
Man, you're talking about
look like in the field.
AJ's not tall, man.
No, he's not 6'3", he's not 6'4",
but he is.
He's 6'1".
The dude is.
But being 6'1" and 230, like that ain't, you know what I mean? Like he's a big boy. You know, you make him 2-3 more inches. You know, that's pushing it. Tight ends are more like
2-3 more inches. He's DK Metcalf.
Yeah, and DK ain't no small boy either.
No, I'm not saying they're small. I'm not saying anything about small, bro. Look, trust me, but he's 6'1". Like,
yeah, he is. No,
with shoes, right. I'm 6'4". I don't care how big you are this way. I still look down at you. Like, you're you know, it's fine. I mean, I remember meeting Jalen Reagor, bro. Was like probably like up to here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a, you know, I understand it, man. It's just you're not gonna convince me off the fact of I'm more in the sense of AJ Brown and Jamar are not the biggest, fastest, strongest in the room. AJ might be the strongest, but usually they're not the biggest, fastest, strongest in the room. But what they do with the ball in their hands after the catch and the fear that they impose, because on a blocking play, they might throw this corner off the line like there's no tomorrow, like a George Pickens would. But the thing with these two, it's a little bit more devious. It's a little bit, you know, I mean, Jamar was going at Coop. Coop locked up Jamar there on that one little wraparound. I mean, it's I don't know. I think that the wide receiver size thing is such a joke.
I know exactly what play you're talking about, and it really was. He had a clean shot at Chase. Chase,
yeah. It was a clean shot. It was a great read. He didn't have to follow
Yeah,
he didn't have to follow, it was just a movement.
it was exactly. It was a
He
movement play
did
to
what
try
he
to
was
swing
supposed
it over to
he did what he was
Chase.
supposed to do. He
It
did
was
not
too
show off
slow.
any crazy athleticism, but he
Yeah,
did real good to keep up with him pre-snap.
yeah. No, he
couldn't
did.
do
He
it.
did. It was.
I'll tell you
I,
this: he could keep up with Jamar pre-snap. He had no fucking clue what Adam Thielen was doing pre-snap. Go
facts.
back and watch Panthers
Yeah,
versus Cooper DeJean. It was brutal,
yeah. It was
and he'll tell you. He'll tell you it was brutal.
Yeah, I hear that. I was gonna kind of preface into this, receiving roster for the Eagles, but I just got a question for you because I was looking at AJ's numbers, and somewhat of a volume guy, right? Outside of last year, he got hurt, but the 2 years before that, his first 2 years in Philly, almost 300 targets between those first 2 years. So we're feeding him the ball, and right, like you said, when we give him the ball and he's on the field, we win football games, right? Just point blank.
And he don't even have to touch the ball. As long as he's on the field, we win football games.
1,500 yards. It looked like that was a career high, almost about 1,496. So I just call it 15.
1496 should be the career high for him.
Yeah, and 22 on 88 receptions, which is great. Not even getting to 100. Next year, same kind of productions, almost 20 receptions more. But do you think that's his peak? And do you think that's his peak? Do you think that's his peak here in Philly, especially with now another offensive coordinator in Kevin Patula?
I don't think he's ever a guy that you could think about sniffing 2,000, if that's the question. But
no, I'm thinking of the other elite guys. I'm thinking like 17. Like, are we ever going to see 1,700?
When you do it, sure. I do think that availability is going to be his biggest question moving forward. I mean, he did miss, a few games last year.
Yeah, no, he did.
And
Yeah,
then he got hurt
still had
at the
1,000
end
yards
of the year before that. But when we acquired him, he had issues with knees and a couple things with Tennessee. And then we just got blessed and had the best season of health from him in 2022, in which case we made the Super Bowl appearance and lost to the Chiefs. So I think that we already have a standard for him. We have the best that he's done, and it was based on health and production. Do I think he can surpass it? 100%. I think he can. Will he? I don't know that him getting older does anything beneficial for his health. I'm just going to put it like that. I will say this. AJ has gone above and beyond this offseason to get physically and mentally better. And I think he's going to come into this season and he is going to have an absolute just shutout season. Like, I think AJ is going to come in here and prove, like I said, at the end of the year, there's going to be undoubtedly this dude is wide receiver 1 in the NFL. But it's all barring injury. I'm going to go with, I think, based on the offseason work he's done, I'm going to say this dude's going to come into the year as healthy as he's ever been. He's stronger than ever. He's going to be faster than ever. And I think he goes out there and he puts on a career year.